I want to teach you how to brainwash people into buying your stuff. Just promise me you will use this for good and not evil. Sell good products with this knowledge I'm about to share with you. So what you need to understand is if you want to make money, it works like a lock and key. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to get people to take action on what you present them. So I want you to imagine the human mind is a lock. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to design the key to that lock to get people to take action, meaning buy your stuff, which then leads to you making more money. And so this is why copywriting is so powerful, right? Because all copy is a stimulus. It's a thing you're presenting in front of a human being's mind that either stimulates them to take action or it doesn't, depending on how good your copy is. Same thing with videos, with content. Whatever you put in front of the human mind for them to see or consume or experience, that is a stimuli. And depending on how good you make the key, decides how much money you make, right? So if you make a key that does not fit the human mind, you're not going to make money. But if your key fits the human mind perfectly, it unlocks the lock, you will get action, meaning you will make money. It's that simple, but it's not easy. And so the first key takeaway here is that you don't design a lock based on the key. You design a key for the lock. So if you want to understand how to make better stimuli, better copy, better videos, better whatever, better products, you must understand the human mind. You must understand the lock. Because if you know exactly how that lock is formatted, how the lock is built, how it's shaped, you can easily just make a key and unlock it and get money. And this is how I'm able to make $60K a month right now, guys. It's because I've just been studying the human mind nonstop for a year now. And the more that I learn, the better I can make these keys, the more money I make. And I want to share with you what's called some heuristics today. So basically, heuristics are like the pins of the lock of the human mind. And I learned this term from Charlie Morgan, so shout out to him. It's very, very powerful. And so if you understand the pins, which is basically the inner workings of the lock, you know how the human brain works, you can use those pins to make the keys and make money. And so there are certain parts of the lock that are going to be niche specific, meaning it all depends on who you're serving, right? The type of people you're serving, the problems that they have. But there's some pins, these heuristics, that apply to almost every human being. It's just how our brains think. And so what happens is our brains love to conserve energy. Our brain does not want to use any more energy than we have to. And that leads to us creating heuristics, basically mental shortcuts. It's just decision-making statements, like if this, then that. So let me give you an example of some of these. And the better you understand these, the more that you gain. Like there's literally hundreds of heuristics. But I want to share with you 3 of my favorite, most powerful ones today in this video. The more heuristics you understand, the more you will understand how every single person's human mind works, and the more you can leverage that to create powerful keys that make you money. So the first heuristic is simplicity. So think about why we love things to be simple. Why? It conserves mental energy. So this is a very basic heuristic, but it applies to everything we do. This is why we write copy at a 3rd to 5th grade level. Why? Because people don't want to read research papers when they're looking to buy something. They don't. They want to see 3rd to 5th grade level writing that's easy to consume, and they can decide whether or not they need the solution and buy it or not. This is also why you want to have one link in your description, or one funnel, one path. Obviously, I have a couple of links in my description on this channel because I'm not all about selling you stuff. But on my main channel, I only have one link. It's like, hey, you buy this thing or you don't. And so if you have 14 links in your description, you have 5 affiliate links, 2 random software affiliate things, and then your actual product, you're creating all this mass complexity when you should just keep it simple. And like this heuristic is why I got rid of my low ticket course. Because what do the human minds do? Our human minds want things as simple as possible. Now, does that mean that's the right thing in most cases? Maybe not. But it doesn't matter whether it's wrong or right. Our human minds are going to do what our human minds do, which is conserve mental energy. And so by understanding that everything you do needs to be simple, from the macro all the way down to the micro, you really can leverage this principle to make a lot more money. So because of that, I got rid of my low ticket program. I only sell my high ticket coaching. That's it. And my low ticket was doing 15K a month, and I just got rid of it. I quit selling it. Why? Because I kept getting questions on sales calls or all this. People like, what's the difference between your coaching? Why don't I just buy the low ticket? All this stuff. And even though I knew the difference was massive, it was causing confusion. Because instead of having one option, either they buy KJ's program or they don't, they had two. And that was causing confusion. So while you might think that more choices means better, usually it doesn't, because it goes against this heuristic of simplicity. So make your copy simple, make your products simple, make everything as simple as possible for people to consume and go through. This is why I keep these whiteboards here, because it's just simple. It's easy to understand. I don't have to go crazy on any other stuff. It's just easy. This is why I use big like pictures and emojis in my videos. Simplicity. Moving on to heuristic number 2 is specificity. And so I want you to imagine that you sell a course. That's what it's called, just a course. How valuable does that sound? Now I want you to imagine that you sell a productivity course. A little bit more valuable. You kind of know what it is now. It's kind of more specific to a certain problem. Now I want you to imagine you sell a productivity course for coaches. Okay, a little bit more valuable. Now you sell a productivity course for coaches in the YouTube coaching niche. Now you sell a productivity course for YouTube coaches who are making over 30K a month. It's like the more specificity you add, the more valuable something becomes to those people who fit that criteria. Now, obviously, so the amount of people you can sell it to decreases, right? Because you're getting more and more specific. But the more specific you get, the more desirable it is to someone who matches that criteria. Why? Because humans love specificity. We don't like things to be vague. We like things to be very specific because that gives us confidence that, hey, that course can actually solve our problem by being specific. And so in your copy, you must be specific with the pains, with the problem, with your solution, with your messaging, with your niche, who you're targeting. Same with your outreach. If you just tell someone, hey, I want to make you a lot of money, how many people are going to take you up on that offer? None. But if you say, hey, I help YouTubers who are doing over 10K a month selling digital products to optimize their VSL, to double conversions and add an extra 5K a month in revenue without changing anything else. Like, do you see how specific that is? That might not be a great offer, but I'm just saying that versus, hey, I'll help you make money. Which one builds insane conviction that's actually going to get people to take action? Well, the one that's more specific. And my entire other channel lives and dies by this principle. Every single video that I put out is angled for copywriters. It has copywriter in the title, or it has copywriter in the thumbnail, or it has copywriter in both. Because every single video is specific. I'm using this principle, this heuristic of specificity to attract the people that I want to attract and to make my videos more valuable to them. So by using specificity in my titles and thumbnails and by angling my entire channel just to help copywriters, here's what I'm doing. Those copywriters, their human mind, they're going to see the stimuli of my thumbnail and titles and videos, and they're going to be very, very compelled to click, which means they watch, which means they then click on my VSL, which is also tailored specifically for copywriters, which means they buy my program and I make money. So specificity makes me a ton of money. And if you want to become a better copywriter, better marketer, better anything, if you just want to convince people to buy stuff, you must have specificity. Heuristic number 3 is consistency. Consistency is very, very powerful, and not a lot of people really understand just how powerful it is. So an old Sam Ubbins kind of quote is funny. He asked someone in one of his masterminds, why do you think you love your parents so much? And they were like, I don't know, why? He said, impressions. So the only reason you like stuff is because you just see it over and over again. It's like the familiarity bias or consistency bias, kind of the same thing. It's like the more you see something, the more consistently you see something, the more familiar you are with it, the more likely you are to like that thing, just because you've seen it multiple times. And so if you ever see those TV commercials and you're like, man, this commercial sucks, and it plays every single ad break, how are they making money off this? It's because they understand a principle that you don't, which is consistency, familiarity. The more times you see something, the more familiar you are with it, the more likely you are to be influenced by it, the more likely you are to like it. So the more you see my videos, the more you watch my videos, the more you're just going to like me. It just is how it is, right? And so consistency is huge. And this applies to your follow-ups. The more times you send follow-up to someone, the more times they see your name, the more likely they are to be influenced by you. Okay? Now, obviously, you don't want to spam somebody 5 times a day forever. Like they're gonna hate you. But if you're consistently following up with people, just checking in, hey, can I help with this? Can I do this? Did you see my message? That's gonna go a long way. This is also why I post so many videos. Is because what does this do in your guys' mind? Think about it. I post these videos nonstop every single week. I've not missed a week of uploading in I don't know how long. And that leads you to trust me more. Because why? You're more trustworthy of people who are consistent. If you see me putting in the work every single week, multiple days a week, videos after videos, on top of running my business and helping my clients, what does that show you? That I'm a trustworthy person who keeps his word, who stays consistent, who provides value, who helps people consistently. And what are you going to do? You're going to be more likely to actually buy my stuff in the future. And so these are just 3 heuristics out of like a million. And you need like I have my own notepad full of heuristics that I have just noticed in my life that I leverage in my business. These are 3 of the main ones that you should be using. So simplicity. Give people one simple path to do. Keep everything simple. Write like a 3rd or 5th grader. Simple, simple, simple. Specificity. Make sure it is specific to who you're targeting. You will get better conversion rates. You'll get better responses. Everything will be better the more specific you are. Obviously, you don't want to go too specific by saying like, hey, I only do this for someone named Bob who happens to own a red cat. Like, no. There's a trade-off here. But make it specific as you can while still keeping it where you can outreach to a ton of people. And then consistency. The more consistent you are with posting, the more consistent you are with follow-ups, the more consistent you are with everything you do, the more people are going to trust you. I want you to imagine that you outreach to someone and your profile has like 3 posts, right, that adds value about copywriting. And someone else outreaches to that same person with a similar offer, helping them with email marketing, whatever. In their profile, they've been posting for 6 months straight, 3 posts a week, talking about copy. Who is that person going to trust more? The person you're outreaching to. Obviously, the person who's been consistent. And they're going to do this subconsciously. They're not going to think about it. They're just going to see the person who has 6 months of consistency under their belt, proven on their profile, versus the person who doesn't have any. They have 1 week. And they're going to choose the person who's consistent. So yeah, hopefully you guys learned something in this video. If you did, let me know in the comments what you did learn. And hopefully this helps you. I'll flesh this out more in future videos, but I'm still learning it. So hopefully this helps. And see you guys later.